Hello. Sorry for being late today. Thanks for being on time. This session is really casual, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in a Q&A or chat box. Meanwhile, let me open up some guides. Hello, thanks for joining us today. Okay, so maybe to briefly introduce myself and as well as the team. So basically, we are from the Amazon Global Selling team. We are based in Singapore and we help sellers. They are in the rest of Southeast Asia region. So Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia to sell in the North American marketplace. So if you're here wanting to ask about Amazon.sg, then this is the wrong place for you to ask. Yeah, because we only cover the Amazon.com marketplace. So my team, we provide account management support to sellers in their first year. So let's say if you have launched your product this year, then you should be assigned to either Rin, myself, or Yitie, who will be the account manager for you. Okay, so maybe before we get started, let me just go through the guide for new sellers as well as the listing guide before we dive into the questions that you have. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them down in the Q&A box as well as the chat box, and we will assist to answer it along the way. Okay, let me open up. Okay, so for the benefit of those that haven't seen this before, this is our selling guide for new sellers. So essentially, if you just sign up for an account, not sure what to do, what is the next step you need to take. So this is the checklist which you need to look at to get started quickly. So don't worry, we'll be sending all these guides or information that we shared today in our follow-up email. So don't worry, you'll be able to access it later on. So firstly, I think most of you have already had a selling account. So basically, you should already know what is the basics of selling on Amazon. If not, you can feel free to click through the link in our guide to learn more, and also about the laws and regulation of US marketplace. And most importantly, we do have like a lot of comprehensive and useful materials on Seller University. There's a lot of step-by-step guide that teaches you how to create a listing, what is a buy box, for instance. So do click through that to learn more. And also we have like a few webinars which you can sign up for as well. And next, let's say if you are a new seller, you just created your account and just, if you just created your account, do look at your inbox to check out for emails from account managers. Reply to us so that we'll be able to provide you account management support so that we can help you to ramp up your store launch quicker. So do take note that we only provide account management support for new sellers in their first year. So for instance, if you launch in 2021, unfortunately, we will not be able to support you as we do not have access to help you on your account. And next, if you are a brand owner, that means if you have a US trademark or SG trademark or any eligible trademark, that will be able to enroll you into Amazon Brand Registry. Start enrolling so that you'll be able to gain early access to A+ content, stores, and many other tools that can help you scale up your business faster than average sellers. It's about 1.5 times. So if you're a seller thinking of whether you should get a trademark, yes, you should get it now so that it can help you scale your business faster during your first year of selling. So there's a playbook on the benefits of brand registry. There's also a registration guide, which you can click through. It goes through like the step-by-step on how you can enroll into brand registry if you already have a trademark. Yeah. And the next part is getting approval to list in closed categories. So many of you, depending on what kind of category you want to sell in, certain categories may need to get additional approval in order for you to start selling on Amazon.com. And this is also due to like the rules and regulation of the US market, right? So for instance, some of the common ones that where you need to get approval will be in the toys category. You'll need a CPC cert, as well as grocery category, you will likely need a FDA cert. So do click through to see your product eligibility, to see whether you need to provide additional documents for you to sell. There's also a video guide on how to get approval as well. And next, once you're ready, start listing your product. There's also an in-depth listing guide over here, which will send it to you as well. Basically, it guides you through step by step on how you should create a listing. So firstly, for instance, you need to get yourself brand registered or get a brand exemption if you do not have a trademark but still wish to sell under your brand name or selling under generic. So this really depends on your business needs and also what you have. After that, you can proceed to create a new listing. There's also step-by-step guide attached over here as well. And also some of the common FAQs. Okay, so there's also like a listing optimization YouTube video by Seller University, which you can see on how to create a perfect listing for you to drive greater product discoverability when you first create your listing. And next, after you have successfully created your listing, this is where you'll need to come in and start creating your FBA shipment. So most of the sellers that succeeds on Amazon.com, they typically use FBA because customers there in the US are mostly Prime members and they will love to receive your goods within 1 to 2 days, right? So leverage on FBA to help you handle all your last mile deliveries. And also it helps you cover like your customer service, reply to all those messages coming in from buyers, as well as handles all your returns and exchanges. Otherwise, you will have to do this manually or by yourself. So just leverage on FBA at a nominal fee per item. Yeah, so read more by clicking onto the link over here. Currently, there's also like a FBA new selection program that provides you some benefits when you actually adopt FBA. So do look at that as well. And after you have created your listing, you have submitted your FBA shipment. Basically, once you have created, once you have an available inventory for you on Amazon to start selling, you can start adopting our merchandising tools to drive traffic to your products. So for instance, there are like advertising webinars where it's held by our in-house experts. So you'll be able to look at that to learn how to first create your advertising campaign and also how to optimize your campaigns thereafter. We do have a series of Prime Day relevant advertising webinars. So do look at that and register for that as well. There's also a page for you to learn more about the different merchandising tools that we have. So subsequently, it will be more on the administrative part where FBA inventory actually reaches our fulfillment center, how you can check your shipment, how you can manage your shipment, and understanding your Seller Central reports. So after you're fully set up with .com, then you can get ready to expand to, for instance, Amazon Canada or Amazon Mexico. Yeah, there's also like a QR code here for you to visit our Facebook page as well as join our seller community so that you'll be able to speak to other experienced sellers to learn more. Yeah, so this is it for the guide. Don't worry, I'll be sending it in the follow-up email so that you'll be able to have a look. Meanwhile, let me answer some questions that are in the Q&A and the chat box. Okay, let me answer the Q&A box first. How long is Hazmat approval? So unfortunately, I do not have the rough gauge for that because it really depends on the category of Hazmat that you're trying to apply for. But do take note that after you created your listing under seller application, after you have submitted your documentation, they'll automatically provide you a ETA where they'll get back to you with their response. So do check that on Seller Central. Secondly, coming for Alvin, there's a placement fee of $300. Is this compulsory during shipping confirmation? Can I check if this is referring to the inventory placement fee that you're talking about? Yeah, maybe you can provide more context. Is it because Seller Central actually recommend you to ship to 3 different fulfillment centers? That's why you have to pay this placement fee if you want to send to one? Yeah, maybe you can provide me more insights on your question so that I can answer it better. No, only one. Okay, could you send me a screenshot in the chat box of what is the displacement fee about? Or yeah, so I can accurately find out the relevant program page for you and answer your question correctly. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is from Denise. I'm a brand owner. Trademarking is not an option now due to our constrained budget. I tried to apply for GTIN, but there is an existing brand that's very similar to mine. I was advised to categorize myself as generic. However, it seems that I will need a product ID. Does it mean I have to register with GS1? Okay, so basically, let me head on to the listing guide again. Okay, so if you do not have, if there's a very similar brand which unfortunately you are unable to get a brand exemption for, you will need to firstly, yes, you will need to list yourself as generic. And secondly, if you do not have a manufacturer barcode, simply follow this link in the listing guide, apply for a GTIN exemption. So let me see whether I can click through this. Yeah. Okay, so over here, when you apply for a GTIN exemption, because that is unbranded, right? Technically, because you can't list under your own brand name. So you'll need to input generic over here. So after you input generic over here, you can apply for a GTIN exemption for the product that you wish to sell. So you may not need to provide a product ID. However, if the category you need to sell in really requires a product ID, then they'll prompt you to provide one after you attempt to apply for GTIN exemption here. So for you, your next step basically is to apply for GTIN exemption under the brand name generic. Let me send you this link in the chat box. Let me see. Okay, let me send this link. Apply for GTIN exemption under generic brand name. Yeah. Okay. So let me see the next question. How can I lower my PPC cost? My products are selling, but my advertising cost is more than my revenue. Is there a way I could reduce my PPC cost? So, okay, can I confirm whether or not you are using an automatic campaign? So typically for new sellers, it's very normal that your PPC cost, or rather your A cost, is actually very high. Typically, if you start using with automatic campaign, which is recommended for new sellers, it will take about 2 to 3 weeks before it can be fully optimized. Not really fully optimized, but more optimized, and your A cost will lower then. So thereafter, when your A cost is like better and you have used automatic campaign for 2-3 weeks, I will recommend you to download your search term report from your advertising console, filter to see what are the top converting keywords or product targeting. Thereafter, use that to create a manual campaign. So usually your PPC cost should lower after that. But nevertheless, honestly, I'm not an advertising expert, but we do have a series of advertising campaign and webinars that's held by our in-house expert. So let me send a link in the chat. We'll be sending it in the follow-up email as well, so don't worry. So do look at all this webinar. It's really very in-depth. They really go through step by step on what you should do, how you can create and how you can optimize your campaign. So as you can see over here in the screen, I'll highly recommend you to look at advertising series 1 and advertising series 2. So let me send this here. Do rewatch. Yeah, and on top of advertising, usually I'll recommend sellers to create a coupon so that you'll be able to drive conversion rate when people typically arrives at your listing page. Because sometimes, right, you know, when customers arrive at your listing page, sometimes they may need a little more push in order for them to convert. So having a coupon or having if you are running a coupon, typically it might help to enhance your conversion rate of your campaign. So I would say advertising and merchandising would work hand in hand together. And also one good news is that under the new seller incentive program, if you're a new seller, we actually do have $50 coupon redemption fee credit for you. Let me send that. So start creating a coupon if you haven't already done so. It would help you increase like your conversion rate. So under advertising benefits, there's this coupon credit. So as long as you create a coupon within 12 months of listing your first Asyn, you'll be able to receive this $50 credit to offset your coupon redemption fees, which is 60 cents per coupon. Let me send this site to the chat. New seller incentive. Okay. So next question. Let me see. Okay, what address should I ship to? So if let's say if you're going to use FBA, so the address that you should ship to will be automatically populated on Seller Central when you create your FBA shipment. So once you create your FBA shipment, I think at step 3, they'll actually show you the fulfillment center that you need to send to. So you need to provide that to your logistic provider so that they'll be able to help you send to the correct destination. From there, you'll be able to download your box label as well so that you'll be able to send. Yeah, I hope that answers. Do you have to set up and sell in Amazon SG before being able to sell on Amazon.com? No. So if you want to sell only on Amazon.com, you can just start selling on Amazon.com. You don't need to go through .sg first before you can do so. Okay, let me see the next question. What is the process for changing your brand name? The new brand name will be applied for the under IP Accelerator. Okay, so can I confirm that you are listing your product under another brand name and you are currently registering for a trademark with our IP Accelerator firm for another brand name? So currently, let's say you are listing under ABC, but you are getting a trademark for BCD. Yeah. Can I confirm that? Yeah, but typically, if you wish to change your brand name, I will advise you to raise a case with seller partner support. Brand name is a really, I must say, is a hard attribute to change after you have created that. And also one of the prerequisites for you to enroll your trademark into brand registry is to ensure that the brand name is affixed onto your product. So let's say if you already listed with ABC brand name and your product has like the ABC word, right? But you're trying to change your brand name to BCD, then you might not be able to change that, unfortunately. Yeah. So usually, let's say if you have gotten a brand name exemption for ABC and your product is already labeled as ABC, I will recommend you to get a trademark for ABC. Yeah, I hope that answers. And if not, you can. Okay, I use a generic brand name upon application. Okay, then this is okay. So basically, if you need to change your brand name from generic to your current trademark name, simply just raise a case with seller partner support. after you have enrolled into Amazon Brand Registry. So firstly, after you have filed for your trademark and have gotten your pending trademark, start enrolling into Amazon Brand Registry. After that has been approved, raise a case with seller partner support to change your brand name. Let me type down the stats here. File your trademark. Number. File your trademark. Once you have your application number, start enrolling into Amazon Brand Registry. There's a step-by-step guide for enrollment into Amazon Brand Registry, which I can send. This after you have successfully enrolled, raise a case with seller support to change your brand name. Yeah, I hope that answers. I've sent the steps so you can save that. I did, when I tried to list my product, it is required to fill in the product ID. Actually, after you have gotten an exemption for generic in for your particular category, you shouldn't have to fill in the product ID already. Yeah. You just have to leave that that field blank. So maybe let me bring you back to this again. So after you fill generic and after you select your product category, you check your eligibility, right? So let's say if you're eligible to list a generic under that particular product category, if the status is yes, then you'll be able to, if you receive this status, this proof, you'll be able to list your product under generic without filling the product ID. So just leave that a field empty. However, if it's an X, right, it means that you have to get a barcode. That means to list in this category, you need a barcode. And in this case, you'll need to go to GS1 to purchase that. Yeah. I hope that answers. Let me see the next question. Yeah, let me see. I already got a Amazon.sg account. How can I get a .com account? Okay, so all you have to do is to log into your Amazon.sg account. Under inventory, there's a tab called Sell Globally. So click onto that, then select the North American marketplace and proceed to register for a .com account. Yeah. Okay, let me see the next question. Do seller need to cover any shipment costs if not participating in FBA? Yes. Okay, so to make this simpler, let me share with you something. Okay. Okay, so let me describe to you like the difference between, let's say, if you're fulfilling by yourself or fulfilling by Amazon. So these are the key differences at every stage, right? So when it comes to processing of orders, let's say if you're fulfilling by yourself, you'll need to prepare each order whenever each customer place an order. What you need to do is you'll need to, go get your stamp, go arrange your logistic provider and manually send it and fulfill the order. So that's if you are fulfilling it by yourself. And also on top of that, let's say if there are any customer queries that come into Seller Central asking about your product, you have to answer it within 24 hours. And on top of that, you need to handle your own returns and exchanges. So if there's an instance whereby someone is unhappy with your product and they want to return your product, you have to provide a US address and have to pay for their shipment cost to send it back to you. That is, if you use fulfilled by merchant, basically it's fulfilling your orders by yourself. On the other hand, let's say if you use Amazon, like fulfilled by Amazon, which is FBA, Amazon actually process, packs, and delivers everything for you. So Amazon handles the last mile delivery for you if you use FBA. So whenever an order comes in, Amazon handles everything. On top of that, if there are any customer queries, right, Amazon will actually help to answer for you within 24 hours. And also, if there are any returns and exchanges, Amazon will just automatically help you settle that. So it's like literally having a logistic headcount and a customer service headcount in the US handling everything for you, which is why most of our sellers actually use FBA. Yeah. On top of that, of course, there are many other benefits, like how you actually be able to reach out to millions of Prime members because your listing will be tagged as Prime. So, sometimes they will want to receive goods within 1 to 2 days, and they might filter to select to see like Prime items. And on top of that, you'll be able to participate in Prime Day with Prime exclusive discount. So there will be like a Prime Day deals batch. Let's say if you enroll into Prime exclusive discount, which is only for FBA sellers. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. My Amazon account keeps showing deposit method is missing. Do I need to open a bank account or is there a third-party system? So the reason why you need to put your deposit method is when you earn money, Amazon need to pay you. So ideally, just put in a bank account that can accept US currency. Yeah. So if you have an existing bank account, just check with your bank whether you are able to accept US currency or like the multi-currency kind of like wallet and input that. Yeah. What is the difference between Prime discount and percentage off? If I use percentage off, won't it be applied to Prime users and normal customers? Okay, so basically, I'm assuming that you're asking about Prime exclusive discount, right? So if you wish to run a Prime exclusive discount, you can choose to give like $1 off, or you can choose to give like a percentage off. So if you run a Prime exclusive discount, naturally this will only be available to Prime customers. Only they will be able to apply the discount and purchase at a discounted rate. Yeah. So normal customers won't be able to enjoy that. However, in the product listing page, it will prompt them to join as a Prime member to enjoy that discount. So this is specifically for Prime exclusive discount. Yeah. If you wish to like run a discount, there are also other tools such as coupons where you can like give a percentage of $1 off from there as well. And this can be applicable to all customers. Let me see the next question. Okay, so someone is asking about the $50 credit. Do we have to pay first? So after signing up for the Amazon coupons, you actually will receive this $50 credit, and this credit will automatically be applied to your first $50 in fees charged creating coupons. So it will automatically be credited off for you, so you don't have to pay first. Yeah. Regarding new seller incentive benefits, let me send the page, the help page that is very useful for explaining what are the terms and conditions and whether you need to pay or not, this kind of thing. You can check it over there. Let me send it to you. New seller incentive. Okay, I've dropped the link in the chat box so everyone can have a look at that. Okay, let me move on to the next question. As a brand, will Amazon be able to use my own customized packaging or is it a standard packaging? Okay, so if you're talking about, when the customer experience when they receive your item, right? You'll receive it in an Amazon box or Amazon packaging. But when they open that, they'll see like your packaging inside lah, technically. So if you're talking about like the customer experience when they first when they receive your item, right? They'll see the Amazon packaging outside until they open up the box to see your item. And this is because you want to protect your item, right? Our packaging and all the things we add inside to protect your item actually prevents it from being damaged during when it goes through, maybe by sea or by air to reach like the customers. Yeah. So unfortunately, they aren't able to use your customized packaging. However, if you want to have like a customized packaging for your product, you can have that and send that to FBA. Yeah, so when when customers open the box, they can see like your packaging and unbox it from there. So you can still have like that layer of brand experience for your customers. I hope that answers your question. So is FBA in Singapore or in the US? Do I send my goods to SG or USA? So because we're talking about selling in Amazon.com, right? So you'll need to send your inventory into our US fulfillment center. Yeah. Because you send it over there, this is how our customers are able to receive within 1 to 2 days. If you send it into Singapore, then if Amazon will have to arrange shipment to send from like Singapore to customers in the US, it'll take like a very long time as well. So depending on which marketplace you send in, there will usually be a fulfillment center in that particular country of sale. Yeah, so for US, our fulfillment center is only in the US. So you need to send it to the US. Yeah. Okay, let me see. For FBM, can we still make use of Prime benefits? If our courier can deliver within 2 days as promised in Prime, or is Prime only applicable to FBA sellers? Currently, Prime is only applicable to FBA sellers, unfortunately. Previously, we do have a program called Seller Fulfilled Prime, but unfortunately, that has been deprecated. You won't be able to get a Prime badge, even though you can deliver within 2 days. So I would highly recommend you to send your inventory to our fulfillment center to enjoy FBA benefits. Yeah. Okay, when is Prime Day? Okay, a lot of people are asking when is Prime Day. So unfortunately, even myself, I do not know when is the exact day. But what I can tell you is the FBA cutoff date for Prime Day is 20th June. So if you want to participate in Prime Day, send in your goods by 20th June. It must check in into our fulfillment center by then so that you'll be able to participate. Let me show you like a brief timeline that we have came up for sellers. Okay, so this is a timeline that we have proposed for all of you to work backwards to ensure that you are well stocked and prepared before Prime Day, right? The FBA cutoff date is 20th June. So your inventory must arrive and check in at our US fulfillment center for it to be eligible for sale during Prime Day. So if you don't have a selection yet, I would recommend you to select your product ASAP and start shipping in by early May, because typically if you use sea shipment, it might take up to 1 to 2 months, right? So start shipping in by early May, latest by mid-May. Then you'll be able to start scheduling for all your promotions by then, and also for it to be able to reach our fulfillment center on time. I hope that answers your question indirectly. Sponsored product and sponsored display, what is the difference? The difference is where the placement of that advertisement is at. So sponsored product, typically it appears when, because there's keyword targeting and product targeting, right? So let's say if you target like ABC keyword, when sellers search for ABC, if you bid enough money for that keyword, then you appear at the top of the search result. Whereas sponsored display is kind of like a Google display network kind of advertisement. So you'll appear on, let me see if I have an example for sponsored display here. Yeah. Okay. So this is sponsored display. So it's kind of like the Google Display Network kind of advertisement, whereby you'll appear, in fact, on Amazon.com and off Amazon.com as well. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, so as you can see the validation period over here, as long as a customer has viewed your detail page or similar products on Amazon in the past 30 days, they'll appear like on and off Amazon, whichever website that we have partnership with, you'll appear there. So you'll remind them, hey, you viewed this, are you going to buy this? Yeah, and on Amazon, you'll appear on like, let's say the right side of product listing or somewhere on a competitor's product listing. So it all depends on what is your keyword targeting and so your product targeting. Yeah. Something to note is that sponsored display is exclusive only for brand owners. That means you must have a trademark enrolled into Amazon brand registry before you can get access to sponsored display. So I have a comparison table over here. So there are a few advertising tools that we have, right? Sponsored product is available for all professional sellers. So sellers like yourself, anybody can access that. But if you wish to have access to sponsored brand video or display, you need to be a brand owner. Yeah, so that's the difference. Do we need to rebrand our products in FBA? No. You can just send your product as it is, following our guidelines into FBA. Are you able to share the current rates for FBA US? Is there a minimum shelf life required? And what is if the product is slow moving or products is nearing expiry or have expired? Are you referring to selling grocery item? Because there's like a food item guideline. Let's say if you wish to sell in food, expiry shelf life guideline if you wish to sell food items. Yeah. Also, if the product is slow moving or product is near expiry, typically, actually I've covered this in our Prime Day webinar, but let me just go through that quickly. So typically, let's say if you have a slow moving product or product is near expiry, we will highly encourage you, let's say if it's still possible to sell, run a heavy discount, especially during Prime Day, to kind of like deplete your stock as much as possible or adjust your selling price because it might be high, that's why people are not buying. So try these two methods first. If let's say it really doesn't work, then will recommend you to remove your product from the fulfillment center. Yeah, you can create a removal order for that. So I'm assuming that you are gonna sell food items. So let me send you the guide for FBA expiry date for food items. Give me a while. Expiration dates on FBA products. Okay, I've sent the link in the chat box, so do look at that and save it as well. If I do Amazon FBA, can I still answer the customer's question? Technically, you can still go to Seller Central, access the messaging and answer it manually, but however, nobody have really done that. Because let's say for bigger sellers, right, this is something that's really heavy lifting and you'll typically offset that to a customer service person. Yeah. But so far, I think most of the sellers has not received much questions coming in from customers, right? And one of the ways to reduce the questions that customers ask is to make sure that your product listing detail page is optimized. And what do I mean by optimized? Let me show you this guide. So to have like a good product listing, what we mean by good product listing, you need to have leaf node, search term, product bullet points, and product images, product description, and A+ content, but for brand owners only. So we'll highly recommend you to input as much information as possible. So sellers will be, customers will be able to make a more informed decision when they purchase, right? So they will ask less questions. Let me send this guide. Listing optimization guide. So these are the key inputs that you need to make sure your listing have if you want to have like a good listing and to ensure that your discoverability on Amazon.com is good. Yeah. May I know what is the recommended pallet size for LTL? Okay, so there's actually this shipping and routing. Let me send over this guide. Typically, one pallet only can fit up to 500 kg according to Amazon guidelines. We do have like a detailed guideline for that. Let me send it in the chat and open up. Shipping and routing requirements. Okay, so over here, it talks about, oh, sorry, let me. Okay, so yeah. So in this help page, which I just sent in the chat box, you'll be able to find all of this information regarding like your LTL delivery and etc. and the guidelines. Yeah. Okay. So all these guides we'll be sending out in a follow-up email, except for all this the more detailed help pages. You can actually search it on Seller Central directly. Yeah. So all those listing guides, like this one, we will send it in the follow-up email that we have. Yeah. Okay, let me answer the next question. I'm a brand owner, but I got a distributor overseas. How am I able to approve my distributor using my trademark? Okay, can I confirm you're a brand owner in Singapore? You have a distributor that wants to sell, for instance, on Amazon.com. How do you approve your distributor in using your trademark? Is that correct? Yeah. And also how you can actually give the access, you can actually do that on your brand dashboard on your Seller Central. Or alternatively, you can also raise a case directly with brand registry support so that they can help you give them like authorized distributor access to use your trademark. Yeah. How do I get to change the price before I get penalized, and how automated repricing work? Okay, so this pricing thing is really tricky, right? And there are a lot of like pricing, there's like a pricing team that manages that. And there's actually this thing called reference pricing policy. Okay, let me send to you the guide. Let me search for it. I don't recommend you to keep changing it. So yeah, let me send the guide. Amazon reference price policy. Okay, so one of the ways where you can set an accurate pricing for your product is do a quick competitor research. Take a look at what are the similar products that are selling at what price. Typically, you can sell around the same price to ensure that it's competitive. If you are a reseller, you can use this thing called automatic repricing tool, which is on Seller Central. So once you set that, you'll kind of like automatically reprice your product depending on what your competitors is like pricing it at. For resellers lah, it's very useful for resellers. Okay, Mark, you're referring to brand owners worldwide, right? So are they selling on Amazon marketplaces worldwide? Are you referring to your authorized distributor selling in Amazon marketplaces worldwide? If so, you can actually raise a case with brand registry support for you to actually provide those authorized distributor access. Yeah. Which part of Seller Central can I check the latest product that I sold for the day? Oh, this one you can actually head over to reports under business reports. You can actually see what are the products that you have sold for the day. You can actually customize the report to see what you have sold for that week, for that month, and for that year. Yeah. I got patent trademark in WIPO distributor selling in the Europe. Yeah. Just raise a case with brand registry support and provide the seller merchant token that you wish to provide access for the brand registry for. Yeah. You can get the merchant token as in your distributor's merchant token from Seller Central under account info. There's a tab for merchant token. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Are there any other questions? I see that someone asked in the chat box, I think quite a while ago, how do I know if my product is already in a buy box? And what is a buy box? There's actually a tutorial on Seller University on what is a buy box and how you can get a buy box. But typically, let me just click into a listing. So a buy box means when people click into a listing, they can buy your product directly. And this thing is called buy now button. So this is like the buy box. So let's say if you are selling a product that's already in Amazon catalog, so you're matching to an existing listing, sometimes your listing, typically if you don't win the buy box, it won't show up. The people won't be able to buy your product immediately. They need to see other options to add your product to cart before they can buy. So that's what it means to have a buy box. But to have a more in-depth or clearer view of what is the buy box, I highly recommend you to head over to Seller University. There's a video, 2 videos on that. What is a buy box and how you can get a buy box. Yeah. When I tried to change a weight in an approved Asyn, it's not allowed. Should I delete the Asyn and list again 24 hours later? Can I check if you have a FBA inventory already? If you have one, I don't recommend you to delete the Asyn. I'll recommend you to rather raise a case with seller support to get them to help you change if that's possible. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Okay, not in FBA yet. Then I think the easiest way basically is for you to delete the listing and just release again. That will be much faster. Yeah. Thank you, Rin, for sharing the buy box link as well. Okay, I noticed some sellers have emoticons in our bullet points. Could you clarify how I could include this in our listing? Because when I edit it through backend, there isn't an option. I believe there's no option for you to include the emoticon. I think they simply just Googled for the emoticon, copy and paste it directly on their product bullet points. Yeah. Okay, so if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them down in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, if you don't have any questions, feel free to drop out of this call. Please help us to fill out this short survey so that we know how we can improve ourselves, and also follow us on Facebook, and also join our Telegram seller community to keep yourself up to date. Yeah. Could you send a link to understand more about BuyBox? Yes, actually, Rin just sent a link to the BuyBox help page. Okay, how about let me find the tutorial for you directly. How the feature offer work? Oh, there's a link on how feature offer work. I think this one is very clear, this help page that I just sent. Yeah, Alex, I'm glad that you learned something new. Yeah. In the link that I just sent, you can actually check for your buy box eligibility by entering your Asyn as well. And there's a couple of help pages. Let me just send it to you. Yeah, so this is how the page look like, right? So how it works, what's the eligibility and how you can check. Okay, it's a bit laggy, but I sent the link in the chat box already. Just feel free to save it and have a look at that. Yeah. After I created an Asyn Amazon.sg, how do I list it in Amazon.com? So there's this tool called Build International Listing. But sometimes it can be a bit faulty. So let's say if you have less than 5 Asyn you want to cross list over, I will recommend you to just manually list it directly. Yeah. Let me send the Build International Listing Guide, the help page. So have a look at that. But ultimately, I'll still recommend you to manually list. Sometimes I think it's much faster. Hmm. Including a thank you card in the product with QR code that leads to review. Is it possible? Will customer be able to access to provide reviews easily? Technically, providing a product insert is let me find a policy for it. Give me a while. Yeah. Typically, I would say it's not the right way that Amazon will recommend you to do that, because we don't encourage you to solicitate reviews, right? Especially if you put like a card that says leave a good review and maybe you provide any benefits. Typically, we don't advise you to put that in. And usually if you want sellers to leave, buyers to leave a reviews for you, you can actually go to the order page and request for a review. Alternatively, if you are a brand owner, you can actually participate in the Vine program. So enrolling your products there will allow like Vine voices to actually try out your product and also leave a review after. Yeah. So the right way actually is to use Vine program. Okay, I found the link for the customer product reviews policy. So have a look at that as well. Make sure you don't violate anything, because they might just take away your, take down your listing. Customer product reviews policy. Yeah, so whatever you see on the forums, like inserting product insert is really at your own risk, and it's a buy left way. So not recommended by Amazon, but yeah. The link you have sent for buy box. Yes, correct. Actually, the link I sent is buy box is also known as featured offer. It's the same thing. Yeah. I would like to apply for an account manager. How can I go about doing that? Have you registered for an Amazon.com account? If yes, feel free to drop down your email address here. I will help you check who's your account manager. Yeah. Your Amazon seller email address. Okay, let me see what. Oh, if it's for .sg, unfortunately, we only manage the Amazon.com marketplace, right? So unfortunately, we are not able to help you on that. Yeah, but there's a generic email, which let me send it to you, which you can contact. For Sasi, hold on, let me check who's your account manager. Yes, if you want like to sell on Amazon.com and you want an account manager specifically for the North America marketplace, you'll need to get an Amazon.com account. So either me, Rin, or Yijie will probably be your account manager. Yeah.
Hi, Sasi. If you don't mind me jumping in, I'm actually your account manager, and I dropped you a couple of emails, but I think it was through another email account. So let me drop you an email through to the one Sasi Dran 100 that you put into the chat box. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Rin. For me, let me check who is your account manager. Oh, May, have you not completed registration yet? Because I see that you're not assigned to anyone. Let me take down your email address and let me get someone to follow up with you. Give me a while. Yeah. Okay, let me see. How many days are we allowed to have an inactive or no stock account? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask over here, but typically if you haven't, let's say if you created an Amazon.com account, but you haven't sell or it has been like untouched for 90 days, right? Typically your account will still be there, just that you will be triggered for seller identity verification again. So you probably need to submit your bank statement as well as your personal documents to prove that you're still there. And also this account is yours. Yeah. So typically after you have created an account, the account will be there. Yeah. May, yeah. Okay, let me check on your account and we'll get back to you. I've taken down your email address already. This session has been really insightful because everybody asked a lot of questions. But anyway, if there are no other questions, I believe we are over time now. So please help to do the survey before you leave. Let us know if we are useful and what else you want to know more about Amazon so we can improve our content to help you better. Yeah. Otherwise, I think thank you everyone for attending, and please reach out to your account manager if you need help. And remember that Prime Day is coming. Send in your FBA shipment if you haven't already done so. Okay, with that, I think thank you so much everyone for being so attentive and being here. Yeah, thank you so much. See, someone just dropped an email down. Let me check who's your account manager as well. I see that you're not assigned one yet. Let me follow up with you again, okay? After this. Could you drop your name as well so that we can address you? Yeah, could you drop down your name as well? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, if not, thank you so much everyone for attending. We'll end this call right now. Thank you and goodbye.